Okay, good evening everybody. This is Averick Symphorian, and welcome to another playthrough of Honkai Star Rail. This will be patch 2.4 part 3, I guess. First time through, we just got back to the Xianzhou, and then we went through March's little training montage thing, which was very lucrative in terms of all the stellar jade they got. And now we're going to continue with the main story quest stuff. So we got to head back to the seat of divine foresight, and we'll see what happens next. Where we left off, Yanqing and Yunli and March, was it? Yeah. They had basically discovered what seems to be a Borisin infiltration or conspiracy of some kind. So very curious to see how that turns out. But then we got switched over back to my perspective, and now we're here again. So let's see what happens.
I am glad to finally meet you in person, guests from the Astral Express. I'm Fei Xiao, the general of the Xianzhou Yaoqing.
Let me introduce our guest to you. The one dressed in green.
He's the reincarnation of Imbibitor Lune, and the person behind him is the newest member of the crew. I've heard a lot about you. Outside the reports from the Law Fu, the Skyfaring Commission of the Yaoqing has also gathered plenty of information about both of you. I've been eager to meet you face to face for reasons that I'm sure General Jing Yuan has explained, right?
We're here for the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection, no?
Straight to the point. I like it. According to General Jing Yuan's report, the Ruin Legion is to blame for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis, and all Arbiter Generals should pay attention to the Ruin Author's movements. Over the years, the Destruction's minions have wreaked havoc on countless worlds, and the Alliance has been keeping an eye on them. But no one expected them to join hands with the remnants of the Abundance. The damage caused by the Ambrosial Arbor crisis was far less severe than expected, which is good news for us. However, it was quite different from the Ruin Legion's usual style of destroying life wherever they go. While I trust the bravery of the Divine Foresight and the Nameless, I'm curious about some details missing from the report. I'd like to take this chance to have an exchange with both of you. Let me be clear, the questions I'll ask might not reflect my actual thoughts, so please don't take offense if any of my questions seem a bit harsh.
Please go ahead, General. But keep in mind we can only answer based on what we know. And perhaps you already have the answers to your questions in your heart.
You have a clever tongue. I like it.
Oh dear.
Merlin's claw is quite articulate. Right now, her intentions are unknown, and Jing Yuan wants us to be honest. Maybe I'll just stick to the facts we know.
Okay, that should be easy.
Let's cut to the chase. Before the crisis struck, the Astral Express was guided here by a Stellaron hunter, a wanted felon, in an attempt to resolve the Stellaron crisis. However, everyone in the cosmos knows of the Stellaron hunter's reputation. So, why did you place so much trust in them? Could it be that some of you have a connection with them?
Trigger, smoke and mirrors. This is a very vague answer. I don't know what direction it'll take. But this isn't going to help us. This probably wouldn't help us. And I don't know how we do that, so let's just go with the first one.
Apart from the Lafu, there are many other worlds suffering from Stellaron corrosion. For example, Eurillo 6, the world that the Express stopped at before reaching the Lafu, was one of them.
To the Express, Stellarons act as roadblocks on the Silver Rail and pose risks to the warping process. And that's why dealing with Stellaron issues is part of the duty of the Nameless.
Ah, I've heard about those problems caused by Stellarons. The Express connects various worlds, so it makes sense for you to take care of this. The cosmos is a mess, and the Trailblazers are just doing their best to fix it. I understand. Let's move on to the next question. The report suggests that Don Shu, the master of the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus, colluded with the Lord Ravager and used the power of the Stellaron to resurrect the Ambrosial Arbor. But here's the thing. Don Shu was just a chief alchemist. Even if she colluded with our enemies and summoned the Stellaron, how did she manage to bypass the Videodora guards around the Ambrosial Arbor?
Don't really know if it's the Preceptors. We don't know if this is true. I don't know, I guess we'll go with this one.
I personally met Don Shu once. Her closest friend was killed during the war on the Fanghu, and she harbored deep hatred towards the Hunt. So she spent years making preparations in the Alchemy Commission, in order to take revenge on the Xianzhou.
Revenge is also a form of the Hunt. However, that doesn't explain how she managed to bring the Stellaron into the Scale Gorge waterscape, which was guarded by the Videodora.
Well, you should ask Don Shu herself for the answer.
Unfortunately, Don Shu is dead, and even her corpse has crumbled into ash. That's one less clue we can pursue. According to the report, Lord Ravager Fantilia is the mastermind behind the entire conspiracy. She disguised herself as an ambassador of the Skyfaring Commission and traveled with you, only to vanish without a trace later on. It seems too convenient to label her as a scapegoat.
Did Fushan witness everything firsthand? She was eager. But I guess best description is that she's a heliobus, which I didn't know coming into here at all. I didn't realize that. But now I understand that after doing some of the side quest stories. So I guess we'll go with this one.
Fantilia is one of the Heliobi, the energy life forms that once fought against the Xianzhou. They're known for their unpredictable and elusive nature.
Just as he said, when the Ambrosial Arbor resurrected, its roots broke through the creation furnace on the Lawfu, accidentally releasing the heliobus fiend fire sealed inside. This can be used as circumstantial evidence.
If Elder Huai Yen accepts the explanation, so do I.
Doesn't seem related at all, but okay. Yay, we won.
Oh, it seems that your answers have addressed all my questions. Generals, I am finished with my questioning.
So, what do you think, General Fei Shao? Have the doubts in the report been cleared up?
The two Nameless have been honest in their answers. Even though there are some tricky details, my intuition tells me there is nothing wrong. However, the 3 questions I posed earlier were not just for the Nameless, but for you too, General Jin Yuan. First, the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus grew uninterrupted on the Lawfu, yet the 6 charioteers were not aware of it. That was a dereliction of duty. Second, you believed in the Stellaron Hunter's prophecy and entrusted outsiders to solve the crisis, even granting them access to the Plague Mark. That was a dereliction of responsibility. Third, you insist on holding the war dance right after the Ambrosial Arbor crisis, putting the Lawfu back in the spotlight. That is a dereliction of wisdom.
Merlin's Claw. Is this your line of thinking? Or the Ten Lords?
From the moment I walked in, I made it clear that the questions I'd ask might not reflect my actual thoughts.
The disciples of Sanctus Medicus were deeply rooted and had been plotting for a long time. I admit it was my negligence for not noticing it earlier. As for the Stellaron Hunter's prophecy, I didn't believe all of it, but in the end, the Lawfu did survive the Ambrosial Arbor crisis. So, I think it's safe to say that Elio's prophecy about the future holds some merit. And as for the war dance, do you think I'm unaware of the risks? However, risks can also be opportunities. The Lawfu has lain low for too long. I believe it's time to stir up the dregs hidden in the depths and wash them away once and for all.
Just as I expected from our sophisticated divine foresight. You have a way with words. I like it. But, unfortunately, ever since the report was submitted, the Alliance has been filled with rumors and speculation. Even within the Lawfu, there are people accusing you of neglecting your duties, resulting in the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection.
So what are your thoughts on all of this, General Fei Shao?
As a fellow Arbiter General, I fully understand the difficulties of this position. Personally, I think all these rumors are meaningless drivel. Across the sea of stars, the Divine Foresight knows better than anyone else what happened on the Lawfu and the meaning behind it. Just as what happened on the Xianzhou Yaoqing recently.
You mean the Xianzhou Yaoqing is also...
Hold on, folks. I just realized there's a huge drop in frames here. I think there's something up with my connection. Let me try disconnecting and starting again.